All right, Jeff, you're supposed to put up 3 thumbs. A1, B2, U3, and Chris 4. Where's all our people? Oh, there they are.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the live coin Q&A.
Where's all our people? There they are.
It's Chris doing.
Welcome, everybody.
I had 3 thumbs up.
Nice.
You think that's a thumb?
Yeah, we just kind of roll into our streams pretty easily. So,
Nice and casual.
or painfully.
Sometimes painfully. I've seen that.
Yes. Well, hello, everybody. P. Milan, Ida Herring, Paula, Perry, Ant. What's going on? Hello, everybody. P. Got that taken care of. Hello, Hiram, Steven, Rocky Superstar, Coins and Collectibles, America, Adam, Murph, David Carlisle. All right. The crew is here.
But before you jump in, Shay, I wanted to recognize Adam. He's lost he's lost like 30 pounds, 20 pounds or something like that. Adam, if you're listening, you want to share how much you've come down. This fantastic story. I love hearing stuff like this. Anything for better health.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Yes.
I need to take care of a little bit of that myself. I've been sitting here looking at coins way too long.
35 pounds, he says.
Congratulations, dude.
Yeah.
Good job, brother. Proud of you. Keep going.
What's up, Imperium? Jeff Dunn. Good to see you guys.
Oh, we got a good group here tonight. That's awesome.
RN Stacker. Yeah. All right.
Shut my
Well,
door.
we got some good coins tonight to go over with you guys. Hopefully we can take some questions and from chat as well. And I'll just say something a little bit about myself. I'm Shay Hoffmaster. I have a channel, Mantic Coins, and I search half dollars and quarters and how to show and all that stuff. I haven't done it in a while, but believe me, I've been searching coins, lots of pennies lately. So my latest thing I've been searching through is like a bag of 5,000 B wheats, and so it was awesome. It's just, getting the time to do it when in the midst of all these other things, because I'm putting together some projects that hopefully in the next few months we'll get to roll out and have you guys take a look at. So, but having said that, Blue Ridge, you want to say hello?
Absolutely. You don't even need to blow my mug up on there. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sean. You guys know me as Blue Ridge Silverhound. Thank you, everyone, for dropping in this evening. We have a nice bevy of coin questions to go through. So anyways, I've been collecting coins for 25 years and also dabble in currency and Canadian coins. I'm currently in the middle of doing a typeset and trying to do more coin roll hunting. Hopefully that'll happen for the holidays as more people drop their piggy banks into the bank. So we'll see. We'll see.
Chris?
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I have the YouTube channel, Chris's Coin Channel. I write blog articles, adventures in coinrollhunting.com. And my favorite thing of all is to do this live Q&A with these wonderful gentlemen here by my side and above me. Most of all, I like seeing what you guys are finding in your search and your hunt. I love answering questions, and thanks for having me.
All right, Jeff.
That leaves me. Hey, my name is Jeff Stanley, and I too have a YouTube channel, Jeff Stanley Coins and Octane, and I cover a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I am primarily a variety collector and just traditional album hole filler. I like to complete the albums and make the prettiest coin album I can possibly make it. And I do some certified coins, foreign work. There's, if it's round, it's made of metal. I typically do not turn my nose up at it. And then I like to come here and I like to do a little bit of education, pass on a little bit of what I've known, what I've learned over the years.
All right. So my cat was banging on the door, knocking to say hello, so I had to get up real quick. But I think we can start in on the first email. Y'all up for it? Let me.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but A and B McGee, I am not wearing that hat. That's the old hat. My daughter has the new one. She's running around the house with it as we speak. So there, that's my reasoning, and I'm sticking to it.
That's a good reason. So listens.
Yeah, my son used to steal my old one.
Yeah, I'm surprised they still have them. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's hanging off the anchor over there." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the old one." So
It says coin on it, so the rest of my family won't have anything to do with it. I'm the one.
Can I show something off quick before we start?
Sure.
I love going Goodwill hunting and yard sale hunting and stuff like that. By the way, I just went to my first storage unit auction this past weekend, and it was a huge success. But that's not what I want to talk about. I went to a Goodwill the other day, and I found some of these boxes. I don't know if anybody knows about these or not, but these are old slide boxes. So inside are slots for slides, but life hack coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2. Cardboard 2x2s fit right inside these bad boys.
Slides were 2x2. I had no idea. That makes sense.
That is cool.
Whoa. Well, I found 2 of these for 99 cents each. How about that? Huh?
Oh.
I could not believe it.
That is better than any cardboard box that I've seen at a coin shop by a huge margin.
And I saw somebody post something like that a long time ago. And for some reason, when it comes to coins, I remember everything that I see. I don't know why, but I saw those boxes and something told me to open them up and look inside, and I did. And I'm glad I did, because those things are hard to find. I mean, it's not a real common item. And to get them each for 99 cents, I was really happy. So who knows? Maybe somebody else will find these now because I mentioned it on the live stream.
Yeah. No, that's good. No, I've only seen one other person that had those like that, and I always thought it was interesting. I've kind of been on the lookout for them, but they just don't come out that often.
No.
They don't come up,
Nope, I got lucky. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me start with the first email.
What's something about the slides is my dad he took all the family photos in the 70s with slides. And when digital came out, of course, we had no pictures of us kids. And Dad's project for the last couple of years has been converting slides to digital to make my mom happy. So he may have some of those.
I would take a look.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I'll read this one because I got good eyesight. Oh, from Angel P. New to coin collecting. I used to coin roll hunt since 2013, but never found any errors. So I gave up and started buying error coins on eBay. Here's what I bought. I sent you pictures of my new collection. I bought a new coin, a rare one. It's a 1983 D double ear. On eBay, I paid $75. Can you tell me a little more info about this coin? Should I send it in to get graded?
Yeah, so they sent in 2 emails, and I just lumped them all together so we could take a look at them.
Okay. Well, that's a nice looking coin right there. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Ooh, pretty toning on that too.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous, gorgeous.
I think I like the eye appeal of this coin more so than a full red.
Well, yeah.
Call me crazy. I just
No, you're exactly right. I mean, who wouldn't want a beautifully toned brown specimen over like a red with carbon spots on it? You know. That's awesome.
FS 101, baby. That's the one.
Oh, yep, she's a beaut.
Oh,
Yeah. That's funny. I see grades like this, like that 62, 63 brown, red brown. And I'm like, man, can you imagine how many hands that coin had passed through before someone got under the magnifier and saw this beauty?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
There's one that still eludes me, the 1994. Yep, I'm on the lookout for that bad boy.
That one's awesome.
I do like that one. It's unique.
Yeah.
I think 91 has one similar, but other than that, I don't think there's many out there like that.
It's not as strong as this one. This is kind of like the gold standard of double columns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know they have them in columns 1 through 3 and 11 through 12, but you know, I still have not found one.
Yeah.
I'm always on the lookout. And here's the last one they asked about, which was the double ear.
That actually looks like one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it comes down to, if this is the one, it comes down to a point. That's the double deer, all right, for 83D, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one. Man, that one is exceedingly tough to find.
Yes.
I'll be honest with you. That's maybe I've not been paying attention, but I need to look for that one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I usually look at ears. I mean, that's part of. I've got once you look at enough of these, you kind of come up with a methodology when you search, and you tend to apply that to everyone you look at.
My favorite was the one. Well, I found, so it's my favorite. Is a 97 double deer. But you know, I love all these. I've been on the search for them. I got an 84. It's a parking lot coin, but I treasure it. I love it.
Oh, absolutely. You saved it from certain further destruction.
Well, you know who did was Coin Dragon, and then I just had to have it, so I bought it from him.
Yeah.
He's found
had two of them.
He's found
Didn't
two,
he,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I got one of them. So
he even predicted his second one.
You know what's so deceiving about this 83D is that it's a Denver. No one could possibly think that. Oh yeah, there's a double deer on a Denver Lincoln. But this one right here was one of the more later varieties that I've personally read up on. Probably is like 5 years ago or something like that. So yeah, for the longest time I've been kind of behind on this particular variety, and I'm here on the West Coast, so I probably have thrown a few of these back in 20 years, which is sickening.
So I think I've counted and tracking 17 double ears for the Lincoln since from 1936 to 2009. But you know, the one that people don't really pay attention to but can find are the double ears on the quarters. There are so many. I think there's.
Yep, those are some nice coins. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing these with us.
That's a nice little pump thread for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we started off with a bang there, didn't we?
Yeah.
Who sent that in again, Shay?
Oh, Angel P.
Okay.
And he wanted to donate this to live coin Q&A, right? All these coins.
That's what I got out of it.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see here.
For that,
And by the way, there's no shame. There's no shame whatsoever in buying the stuff that you can't find. I think we all do it.
From Josh R. at 1968 S. Kennedy 50 cent. Hello, everyone at Q&A. I recently bought this 1968 S. Kennedy $50. Knows the reverse to have some pretty significant doubling. My question is if it is in fact a true double die reverse and not just machine doubling. I'm still new to the double die world. Thanks.
You're welcome.
So I put this one in here because I thought it was interesting, and you'll see why. I'll let you. Because I didn't see any doubling.
No, all I see is it might be a little bit of machine doubling, which it appears a little bit differently on proof coins, but the edges of the devices are kind of thinned up a little bit.
And that's why I wanted it in here, is because I wasn't sure. I hadn't actually seen this anomaly this way with all this like that.
Yeah, the way it's ridged up like that.
With the cuts on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty normal for a die deterioration proof strike. You see it a lot on Kennedy $50, especially during this era. You even actually see them on obverses. It kind of throws you off because sometimes you think you got the double die offers with a double profile, and it just has a much different look on a proof coin than it does on a business strike. Machine doubling, that is.
And I've seen machine doubling, just not quite with the raised ridges like that. And I've also seen flat field doubling, but this altogether was just different.
Yeah. I have a few of these with the raised ridge MD on it.
Cool. All right. So machine doubling.
Yeah, it is pretty cool though. It's interesting.
Hey Shay, can you go back to the obverse? I did want to kind of make a comment on it. That 1968 is at the cusp of the years before Cameo really becomes quite common. That's a nice coin. I mean, that looks every bit of deep Cameo on the obverse, and the reverse looks pretty good too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that does look like a DC right there. I would say probably 1 in 25 proof sets.
Yeah,
like for like 67, 68 will look like this. So it's not common at all to find a deep Cameo coin.
right. Once you get into the 70s, it's kind of pretty much that's the standard. You're going to find them Cameo, deep Cameo all the time. That's a nice coin just because of that.
I would take a close look at Ken Potter has a website at coinpro.tripod or something like that, but he has different forms of machine doubling. There are many actual types, and this one is actually reminding me a lot of one called ejection doubling. So it might be cool to check that out.
Is that the name for sure for the site, Chris?
Well, it's Coin Pro. It's actually with a K. Coinpro.tripod.com. But if you just go to Google and type in other forms of doubling, it'll take you to it. Now,
Paula threw in the link in the thing there.
So his definition of ejection doubling is it shows metal pushed sideways into the lettering and then pulled upwards during ejection.
Interesting.
I've heard that terminology. I forget. You know, I seem to lump all MD into one kind of like bucket. Yeah, but there's a few different types. All right, I'll go ahead and take this one from Chris C. We got a 1971 Ike D double ear, double die reverse. I guess that's $1. Hello, everyone. I am new to the hobby. I've been following Sean at Blue Ridge for some time now. Who's that guy? And was really happy to hear the announcement of the live Q&A. I watched my first one and really appreciate the format and all the views, comments, and feedback from everyone on the coins and questions sent in. I have the 1971 Ike D, I presume it's a Denver, and noticed some doubling on the reverse of America. I also noticed what seems to be a double ear error similar to other ones on the Lincoln set. Do I have something legit on the obverse or reverse? Any feedback would be great. Thanks, Chris, for submitting this.
Wow. Boy, I'll tell you what, that thing is full of deterioration, machine doubling.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That strike is very crappy.
Yeah.
So.
At first, the very first picture I saw, I actually thought it was a counterfeit. And believe it or not, I own a counterfeit Eisenhower dollar. So they do make them. Wow. So what you're seeing here is an example of the U.S. Mint trying to squeeze every little dollar they can out of their equipment. The dies that were used to strike this coin were both shot, the obverse and the reverse. And you're seeing a combination of die deterioration to the extreme. You're seeing some machine doubling and an overall poor strike because of it.
All right. MD and die deterioration.
From Shannon Smith, 1995 P quarter. Good evening, panel. Wanted to show you this find and get your thoughts. This quarter has a few different things going on. A couple of different die cracks on the reverse and something else. Can you give me your thoughts on what this additional anomaly might be and your overall thoughts on the coin? Thank you for your help as always. Be well. And you, Shannon, you be well as well.
Die crack there.
Yeah. It's a pretty common area right there. That looks like a little clash mark.
Well, let's check out an overlay here.
Another big old die crack. And there, that one too. You can find these in the 90s, late 90s, 95, 96 for sure. They got a couple of them like this that are really, really cool to find.
So that would be a clash mark of his eyeball. That is Washington's eye socket.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm. So you got yourself a nice little clash mark there.
I just want to point out, Shannon, pretty good eye. And not a lot of people enjoy looking through the early and mid '90s Washington quarters. They just became unpopular on the heels of the state quarter program. So, well done.
Mm-hmm. I am one of those people who do not enjoy going through those.
Yeah.
Well,
you got to flip it.
oh.
Oh, do the inversion. That's mirrored.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah. There you go. Look at that. Line that baby up. No, up. Down just a hair.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, look at that
Catch, Chris. You caught that right off. It's off just a little bit.
Well, it could be rotated,
Yeah.
slight rotation, but yeah.
That's incredible.
Well, what's incredible is Shannon found that.
Yeah.
A lot of people would miss that or mistake it for damage, maybe a contact mark. So good job.
I think Shannon is in awe of your overlay, whatchamacallit.
Your overlay on the fly skills. I could probably spend like a half a day and get that, but I don't think I could.
Oh, you talking about me? Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's good. It's not bad. From ER 1894 S dime.
What's going on?
You got to blow it back up.
How did that happen?
I'm an old man. I can't read that far away. I'll start over. From ER in 1894 S dime. This is a crazy coin roll hunt. This is a crazy coin roll hunting. This dime was in a roll. Did I jump? Yes, I did. And I have been staring at it for 2 weeks. This thing can't be real. Please, I need your help. Don't know if it's true that PCGS pays just to look at an 1894 S dime. Do I wish it is real? Heck yeah.
All right. So I hadn't even heard of an 1894 S before I got this picture. But I had to immediately go out once I saw that there were only like a population of 24. It's not even like in the red book. So if you look here, it's S mint, extremely valuable coin. However, when I started looking at the pictures, I noticed this 9 was pretty hokey. Pretty hokey. No, it doesn't.
It looks like the Joker.
That was exactly what I was thinking.
So I think it's a counterfeit.
And furthermore, the 4 looks to be it was re-engraved or something. It looks funny too. There's only been one recorded 1894S that was ever spent. A little girl had obtained it from, I think, her dad, and the coin was given to him by the mint director at the time, and she went and used it to buy ice cream. Have you guys heard that before?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the 1894S. All right.
Yeah.
I think they also featured that one on there was a Beverly Hillbillies episode where I think Granny or somebody went and used Mr. Drysdale Barber Dime album in the vending machine.
Oh no.
It's a funny episode.
Well, we do find stuff coin roll hunting that
Hey, do me a favor, Shay. Can you go back to the date? I'm trying to identify what host coin was used to modify this. I think the 9 at one point was 0. I might be wrong. So that would make this, and the 8 is shaped weird. So that would make this one like a 1900 something. It could be a 1904. Yeah, I think the 9 was a 0 at one point, and it was just kind of worked over.
I don't know. Do you? I mean, the surface looks. I guess they rough these up after they make them. What is the?
Another thing to point out that I did notice is that ridge along the rim, which might say that this one is an electrotype counterfeit.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
The only way to know for sure, because of that extra buildup on the rim, is if you looked at the edge, you'll see an entry point for the electrotype, where they actually shot the little bursts of electricity to make this counterfeit. And you'll see kind of like a lump on the side. And what counterfeiters will do is they'll file it down to make it look like reading, but you can actually tell even after doing that. The area of Liberty just looks really funny. It's just, pretty crazy.
Hey, Shay, let Chris back in. I think he popped out.
Oh, did he drop? All right.
Yay!
I took your spot.
One thing I'd like to point out: you look at United States of America, except for relatively sharp, the date relatively sharp, yet the bust is not so sharp. Also, that little ridge you guys are talking about around the perimeter of the coin could possibly be casting mark, right? From being cast. This doesn't really look to be silver to me either. Is it? I would love. Was there a weight? I actually dropped off. My internet dropped out for a second. But was there a weight given for this?
No.
Okay, my guess would be that it doesn't weigh what it's supposed to either. So it could be either that electrotype or a cast counterfeit, in my opinion. And the date's just all. I don't think it's an existing coin that was altered. I just think it's a straight up counterfeit.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. Just the overall mushiness of the portrait, dead giveaway on this.
All right. Let me grab the next one here.
And Ant brings up an interesting point to might be able to determine year if
that would only make sense if and only if there was a genuine host coin used. That's why I'm saying it could be like a 1904. And then, at that point we could determine, oh yeah, they used this type style for the mint mark.
Yeah, that's always a good diagnostic.
It's some sort of cast counterfeit or electrotype. I believe the strength of the design carried through from 1892 at the beginning of the series to 1916. So, this one with the weak looking portrait and the strong letters on the periphery, things just don't add up with this one as being, first of all, a genuine coin of any type. But, it's interesting. It's just crazy how you find stuff like this, just going through rolls.
Does anybody else feel like the raised areas on that coin have a slightly porous look to them? Even the rim that's visible in this picture kind of seems like it's a little bit porous. I was, specifically that picture that was being shown at the time. But yeah, even like one dime, everything that's raised has a weird look to it.
It's got, that could be some casting remnants.
Look inside the E. You lose some detail inside that E of one.
So don't they just like after they cast these, they sand them down to try to get rid of the porous surfaces, and then they beat them up quite a bit and try to age them and tone them. And I mean, if they can successfully pull off what $1 million coin.
Yeah, well, they also use that. I don't know if it's called carbon powder, but people that work on the hobo buffalo nickels will use that to give the coin some artificial kind of distressing to it. So that way it looks like a coin that is circulated over a number of years. It's going to have that gray patina to it, while the raised areas are going to be a little bit lighter because that's where more of the contact is. So there's a bunch of different ways to replicate a coin like this that has, what to you and I would appear to have relatively original surfaces.
I'm just super happy she didn't pay for, the coin. Or he or she. Yeah.
That would
I guess they did. They paid 10 cents. But that's good. All right.
All right, we got Robin with a 1955 wheat retained lamination. Hello, everyone. Would like to advertise on eBay, but I would like to verify if this should be advertised as a retained lamination error or a die crack. Actually, I don't know what it is and could use your expertise. Let's check it out, Robin. Thank you.
Where's Jeffrey Schumacher when you need him? Those are retained interior die breaks, also known as cracked skulls. It's actually not the coin, but the die that struck the coin that has that damage to it. Yes, there's cracks, but it's a break on the die itself. Yep, as Paula wrote in chat, RIDB, retained interior die break. Most people call them cracked skulls. Jeffrey Schumacher is a little off his rocker and studies the progression of these. I don't know if he's ever told you guys that, but...
Oh, yeah. Just a few times.
I've heard a rumor about that.
Yeah, I love it because it's reaching that terminal die state. How many of these were actually there before the die just broke into pieces and they replaced it?
This one is actually a more advanced state when you see just the level of this break on here. I've seen some, with very small cracked skulls. Yeah.
Yep, that one's a doozy. Now, these are relatively common, 55, 56, in that time frame, but there's so many different ones.
Yeah, Paula threw up a a link to Cuts on Coins. That would be the place to find the actual reference photos and the other attributions for other cracked skulls for the date. Great resource.
Okay, this one's.
Oh, go ahead.
Good. No. All you.
All me. Oh, from Anonymous. Dropped letter. Hello, panel. It's Anonymous again, and another dropped letter. Can you explain how this is possible on the reverse of a coin? What has to happen in the minting process in order to produce a struck through like this? Also, I want to know what would make an old cloth mint bag collectible, and what would a rare or highly sought after mint bag be? I know a lot of people collect them. I was wondering what a rare bag would be. Maybe a Carson City bag, or maybe a New Orleans bag. What about a Charlotte mint bag?
Or Dahlonega.
Yeah, good luck finding a Charlotte mint bag. That would be awesome.
Wow, look at that. That's not only a struck through drop letter, but part of it is still retained.
Yeah.
Part of that goop is still in there. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about right there, baby.
Goodness.
Bravo.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So the question is, how could this appear on the reverse? It's real simple. So you're in between one coin being ejected from the striking chamber. Before the next planchet goes into the striking chamber, a little gob of that hardened grease from the letter U in trust, as I would imagine where this came from, would fall on the reverse die, and then the new planchet would go into the striking chamber, and it would strike this along with the rest of the devices on the coin. Now, as why the other guys can say differently. That's my theory on it.
I think that's exactly right.
I agree. I guarantee you there's only one like that.
And I don't think that's a theory, Sean. I think that's fact.
Yeah.
Fact or fiction? I think it's all fact, baby. And you know what else is fact is that drop letter is awesome. And the fact that it has all that crap still in there, you just don't see that.
No, that's pretty cool. I'm excited for you, because that if I came across this, I'd be running back and forth in my place, yelling and screaming. That's pretty cool. Drop letter is hard enough to find, but to find one with the crud still embedded in the coin, that's pretty special. So I would put that in some sort of case. And I hate those airtight cases, hate them with a passion, but I would actually use one of those for this.
Just to retain it in that original state, so nothing falls out, nothing gets knocked around.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically, you could, take a needle and you could actually push that stuff out. And
But
that's
no.
what you don't want to do.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Oh, Shannon, I'm not the Chuck Norris of minting. Come on now. I can't make everything happen, man.
Yeah, but speaking of Chuck Norris,
Right?
have you guys ever Googled find Chuck Norris? Has anybody ever tried that? It's kind of funny because a website comes up and it says, "You don't find Chuck Norris finds you."
I knew you were going to say that.
Just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, I had a chatbot database full of Chuck sayings. So
They call them Chuckisms.
Chuckisms.
From what I've heard. Yeah, if you want to know a truly unique coin, this is probably it right here. If you could think about the circumstances of how the mint is cranking out these coins, there's only so much time between one strike of a coin, the ejection, and then the insertion of the next planchet in the run. there's very little time for that little hardened piece of grease to fall onto the reverse die like that and strike the next coin with it on there. So tough.
All right, I'm presenting now. I'll go ahead and read this one from Brian Edwards. Thought you folks would enjoy some struck through grease coins. The initials are almost obliterated on the 46D Roosevelt. The bicentennial Ike is a bit more obvious and one of my favorites. Thanks. Keep doing what you're doing, team. You are all great for the hobby. All right. Don't see much of the initials.
No. What I do see, though, is that radial flow lines.
Yes.
I mean, overall, it's a nice looking coin. It's just it was struck with, you know, older dies. You got some waviness on the back. So just well-used dies.
Let's go back to that one. I have to say that one threw me for a second. I had to look up the initials there for wait, where are those? Let's go to the Ike.
46D, huh? Interesting.
What was the question? Oh, nice struck through.
Nice one right there. Good one.
I would call that struck through grease. It looks like there's a little bit of a blotch right above the star that goes over to the bell as well. Kind of a blotchy area.
Right up in that area.
Yep.
But that's the star of the show right there.
Heck yeah, it is.
Very nice. Very cool.
Cool. Thank you for submitting.
Thank you. All right. Let's do another one while I'm up. Who wants to go?
Oh, you're still showing the dime.
Oh, I'm still showing the dime. Oh, I see what I did. I clicked when I should have opened.
I hear panic clicking going on now.
Don't let them see you sweat.
Please work.
No, that was me trying to get my audio to work before the show. That was close. That was a close one.
So this one also from Brian Edwards. These 7 coins show different stages of a die gouge. At least I'm pretty darn sure they are the same chip. I found these last year in a Loomis roll. Anyway, pretty cool, eh? Thanks all. Must be Canadian.
Hey.
Eh?
These aren't Canadians. All right, so this is the Georgia, Cumberland Islands, my home state.
Oh, is this that big old gnarly chip on the wingtip? Sometimes
Yeah.
These are pretty well. What's interesting is that they were all in the same roll, and they're all little different. So it's a chip, not a gouge. So here's one, and then we got another one. It's a little bit different.
Oh yeah.
It's a little your state right there, yeah.
Yeah, it's something about the America the Beautiful quarters and birds and die chips are go hand in hand.
Yeah, for sure.
I've looked at enough of them, and
That one's on the tip.
just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Little tipper.
Now that one's probably from a different dye. That one looks pretty different than some of the others.
Well, that just goes to show you, certain designs have weak areas, and we find them all the time. For instance, on the Memorial Reverse Lincoln Cent, you always find cracks at the four corners of the Memorial. What is it? The Harper's Ferry quarter. There's the snow on the roof, or the chips up there at the bell tower.
And on the building sides. Yeah.
Yeah, each design has certain areas that are just weak, and then they're prone to chips. Look at the spitting horse. There's countless different spitting horses out there.
And the base of Washington's bust on the quarters.
Yep.
Quite often has die cracks and chips across it. Yeah. Lots of them on $half as well, especially in the 90s.
And then the oak and the olive leaves on the back of the Roosevelt dime.
Yeah. And I expect that 2020 you'll find a whole lot of them. 2020 coins.
Yeah, Paul said, "No, modern coins are ruining it for the die chip collectors."
Yeah, you can go broke collecting die progressions, for sure.
It's a very broad subject to collect. That's for sure.
Yeah, some of those that's a good size one right there.
Yeah, that's a big old gnarly booger.
Those are really good size chips.
I've seen a few of the Cumberland Islands where the chip actually connects to that inner rim part right there, where you have the incuse lettering.
Oh yeah, like on Teddy Roosevelt, on the top of his hat, and the reins, and Oh man, I love them.
Oh, the one where Teddy Roosevelt looks like he's wearing like desert goggles or something.
Oh yeah.
All right, go to a next one.
So here's a little bit of a thought-provoking question for the panel. So from the earliest state of a die chip to the later stage, which things big, about how many strikes would you say it takes to get from one point to the other?
That reminds me of an old commercial I used to watch when I was a kid, and it was
The little owl.
Oh,
the
yeah,
owl. How
the-
many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? One, two, crunch, three.
So you're saying 3 strikes and you're out.
I think it depends. I think it depends on the die, the design. There's a lot of factors that go into it. I don't know if you could come up with an average, maybe, but every die, it's an alloy. The die itself is an alloy, so there could be weak pockets in it. I mean, there's a lot of variables there.
The
The only reason why I brought it up, Chris, is all of these coins were found. I don't think they were found in one roll, but they were found in one grouping of rolls. So I don't know. It's just kind of interesting to kind of think about.
It is. Now,
10,000.
if we think about how these rolls come to be, quarters like this get dumped into those big super sacks, right? And then from there, they go to the third-party companies that roll them, whether it be Brink, Loomis, Garda.
Chuck E.
So, Chuck E. Cheese, heck yeah.
Yeah, man.
Before that, it was Major Magic. I don't know how old you guys are, but so it's even though they go into these super sacks, it's still intriguing that you find numerous dies in in a roll. I mean, it's really unfathomable how it happens, but somehow, some way, those bad boys get mixed up. I'm not really sure how many quarters fit in a super sack. Maybe I can find that out quick.
Don't they call them like ballistic bags or something like that? Those things.
Yeah, I've heard
I think
that.
it's 40,000.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that information's available. But yeah, a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I can't find that info, but it's still amazing to figure. You know, I don't know how many dies are even in just in that picture alone that Jeff has up there yet. They all looked different to me, slightly.
Yeah,
So Paul's saying 200,000.
Just overall kind of, you know,
200,000.
where the chip is on the wing.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about Showbiz. Yeah, I can't forget about Showbiz. So Paul is saying 200,000 in one of those bulk bags. And I'm not really sure how many quarters on average a set of dies strikes, but I would imagine it's probably close to that number, right?
Well, each denomination is different, right? Like the Lincoln cents set dies would endure many more strikes compared to, say, nickels, which is a harder metal. So
yeah,
the dies don't last as long.
You know, and it's kind of interesting after studying a couple of die progressions that I look at all these sites that have stages of die varieties, or they're double die varieties and RPMs, and they show stage A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever. But I think it's a little unfortunate that that's sort of really arbitrary. Like there are, I think, specific events that happen to the die while they're minting the coins, and I think that a new something or another, like a new crack or a new die break, can happen on one coin. All right, so and I think that every single strike could be its own stage.
could be. No,
Yeah.
Shay, I've thought about that a million times, and I agree with you 100%. There can literally be an infinite number of stages from one end of the spectrum to the other. Although most websites or people who attribute coins, will pick out certain major events and list those as stages. But I agree with you 100%. You're right.
Well, what's even crazier to think is how many different sets of dies were used or reworked dies. Because if you looked at the national park quarters, some of the vintages, especially this year with the overproduction, goes into the hundreds of millions. So I don't know if you could break down an approximation of how many coins are struck with a set of dies at that given time, and then do a little basic math, I guess. It could be 500 sets of dies that are used to produce the entire run, which will generate many more different types of progressions and chips and cracks and so on. It's oh my god, I'm getting a migraine just thinking about it.
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole, baby. It's a rabbit hole.
That's serious rabbit hole action right there.
I would say if you really want to study the progression on these particular ones you have, try to find another marker that might be common amongst them. Then you're looking at ones that are from the same die. I know when I've done attributions for nickels, for instance, Brian Rybar will point out die dots. I mean, it looks like a pinpoint as some of the die markers to look for to for commonality with that that particular variety that I've found. So yeah, I would look for something small, something that I can't quite see when I blow these up, but there might be a little dye dot, a little scratch, a little dye gouge or something like that that might be common amongst them. Then you're looking at the exact same one, and then for sure you're looking at a progression.
Edward Jacobs has an interesting question. Let's see if I can pull up here. That strike does create friction. How fast does it strike? Well, most of the modern coins, they were striking at about 120 per minute, but now they have machines that can go 750 strikes in 1 minute.
So let's do the math on that, right? 700 and how many?
750.
750. Let's divide that by 60. And you're doing 12.5 strikes per second. Now, is that per die pair or is that per chamber? Because there are triple die chambers, right?
Yeah, can you imagine like 4 of them in a row going that fast?
Holy crap. I mean, it's amazing what machinery can do. I can tell you that. I used to, I worked in manufacturing for years, and I'm familiar with a lot of fast-moving parts. And sometimes, in order to see something wrong, I had to use an old-fashioned timing light. If anybody ever worked on Jeff, Coins and Octane, buddy, you ever worked on vehicles back in the day? You needed to use a timing light to set the timing on your car. Well, that timing light can be set to the right speed, and if you match the speed of whatever equipment is going a certain speed, you can actually see it. Looks like it's standing still. So for me, it was, let's say, 500 different pieces moving around in a circle, and I had to find one that could possibly be broken. So I would set my timing light, and I would watch it, and if you get the timing light set just right, that broken piece would stick out like a sore thumb. It's amazing how well it works. So yeah, this stuff is capable of doing it. It's really amazing. I love technology, baby.
Yeah,
bring it on.
Paula had mentioned that they're only doing single die chambers now on moderns. That must have been like a recent change or something, as opposed to the 3-coin batch strikes.
Yeah. So then we're looking at 12.5 strikes per second. I don't even know how that's possible. How is that even possible?
At that tonnage, think of that.
And you wonder why things break down.
Yeah.
Coins get screwed.
Make sure you go vote tomorrow, people. Vote.
And they say you can't find mint errors on new coins.
I mean, it's good in a way, because by the time they realize that something's happened, another 10,000 coins have already been created.
Oh, dude, you can walk away for like 10 minutes. You can imagine.
Yeah, we're on.
Well,
it's popped out in 2020.
Think about 2014 double die number 3. That's one of the strongest modern double dies you can find.
Yeah, it is.
I have found, I'll bet you 15 to 20 of those. There was a guy, yeah, that's why you don't have saddle strikes anymore. Yeah, what a shame, because those are pretty cool. There was a guy that I knew that was finding rolls of them up in, where the hell was he from? Wisconsin, I believe. So that's exactly what happens. They don't realize it, I guess, until they finally pick one up and look at it and say, hey, that looks funny. And by then, they made 10,000 of them.
You want me to put the next one up, Jeff?
No, I can go. I've got one more.
Yeah, Cindy, quality does suck because they have less head count at the mint facilities right now. among a few other things. So when you have less eyes on the machinery, there's more that could go wrong. And, you know, if they're trying to quadruple production because of the coin shortage, then, you know, you just kind of fill in the blanks and see where things go from there. Something has to fall off the wagon. Quality control, you know, that's one of those things they can do without for now, until this whole thing blows over.
Okay, I'll read it. From T Collects. Hi, team. Here's a pretty interesting error with number 1 in the date. Tilted. Next to the last page is an image of a normal struck 1971D. Please teach us what's going on here. Rarity, variety, if so, and going premium. Thank you all much. I may have written a blog article about this if it's what I think it is.
Good eyes, by the way. I couldn't read that.
Tilted was tough. Oh, yep. So I actually wrote an article all about this, and it involves moved metal. So what's funny about this is, yeah, that's the one, and it's out of place, but it was pushed out of place by the crimper fingers of a coin rolling machine. So that is actually a damaged coin. If you think about how these coins are produced, anything that's raised on the coin is actually indented on the die or in cuse. So you can't just move where the numbers and letters are. They can't just move. So on the coin, they can move because they are raised and they get bumped. And copper is a relatively soft metal, so it got hit by something, most likely a coin rolling crimper, and pushed it off to the side.
And you could definitely see where it was and where it looks like, you know, where it moved from, almost like the windshield wipers in your car on a dirty windshield.
Yep.
Well, there's the control, I guess, but yeah, that's the result.
I like that, using the scientific method terms there, Jeff.
Yeah, control. Take control. Yeah, I see quite a few of these going through beat sense too. So,
Okay.
tons of them. And it does throw off a lot of people when they come across it.
I'm having some technical difficulties, Jay, so maybe Paula can help us out and find that article and share it in the chat. My mouse stopped working. I'm in rough shape today.
You posted it on Facebook, right, Chris?
It has been posted numerous times on Facebook, yeah.
I remember seeing it. It's a great article, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Let me go ahead and I'll go ahead and run mine out, Shay, if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. From Shannon Smith. Hi, panel. I know you guys love to see these recent coin issues. This dime may have a slight misalignment die on the obverse, but take a look at the third picture enclosed. It is a comparison of this coin and another 2019 dime reverse. It is apparent from this picture, the biggest thing on the coin, die chips. The biggest on the reverse is like one of those huge Fritos scoops, but there are all kinds of die chips on the reverse and also a couple on the obverse too. I'm wondering how close to the end of the life this die is. Just wanted your thoughts, as I think this is a pretty cool find. Thanks, gals and guys. Be well, Shannon. Okay, I might have these slightly out of... So we've got some of these are kind of typical to the series. You know, we were talking about, typical coins that we find chips and places we see them on. This is common on Roosevelt's up in the hairline. Certainly should, right there next to the mouth. And here's the reverse. That must be, is that the Frito Scoop one? This is on the oak leaves right here. I've got one that is absolutely riddled with this thing. It's one of my favorite die chip coins. Kind of wish I put a picture of it up here too, just kind of go along with the discussion. Got some on the torch, and then over here on the olive leaves.
Nice die crack there.
Yeah.
I shared that link in the private chat. Could someone copy it and paste it to the live?
Sure, I got it.
If possible.
Thanks, Shay.
Jay, coming right up. Shay's going to share that link with you here.
But yeah, go ahead.
No, it used to be back in the day. We used to call the obverse die chips right on Roosevelt's mouth the herpes die chips. It was kind of like the crack at the time. Get it? Crack.
Herpes simplex.
Yeah.
Poor FDR.
He needs to get that checked out.
Well, there's a pill for that. All right. Very cool.
But yeah, I like finding the ones where there's just a whole bunch of them, a whole slew of them. I'll keep those. Shannon, you doing good with the dime, sir?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but they need to change the darn dime already. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I am too. It's not one of my favorites.
I hate nickels too, but at least they changed the design.
Well, it is undervalued. I think there's a lot of different things going on with that series that people haven't found yet. So I think it's ripe with opportunity to find some cool stuff. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. If you think about like the seeded series, people were sort of the same way. They were tired of it, but it was so many denominations, and that's all they saw all the time. At least you only have this one dime that you're not fond of.
Yep, that is correct.
I'm just glad I didn't live through the Barber series. I'm sorry. Barber series is like probably my least favorite in all U.S. coinage. I second what Teddy Roosevelt said about it.
What did he say about it?
Didn't like it.
Well, that was uneventful.
No, I don't remember the exact quote, but in to summarize, it was just for the most part, U.S. coinage lacked artistic expression, and that's the reason why we wound up with in the early 20th century with the beautiful coins that we wound up with: the Mercury dime, the Walkers, the St. Gaudens, even the Buffalo nickel. The Standing Liberty quarter. We wound up with coins that had beautiful artistic quality to them.
Well, I got to tell you, we're still behind the 8 ball. If you compare our coinage to the other, larger mints of the world, Canadian mint, the Australian mint, man, our stuff is so boring and plain compared to the stuff that they're coming out with.
We definitely went back at some point after that. I mean, just you look at your average Franklin, or the Roosevelt dime. Of course, that's me progressing. That's me sharing my opinion. Some people might see a lot of art in those coins. I just, I don't. They don't excite me.
Well, if they can get away with using the whole president's theme, and getting back to actually portraying Lady Liberty on coins, I would be down for that like you wouldn't believe.
Yes.
The U.S. Mint today, they're doing the open art competition for like the commemoratives. So I think it might be time to see something like that for the dime. I think we'll get so much more expression that way than just going with the same canned presidential theme, which no knock against FDR or anything, but come on, let's get serious.
All right. I've got one more, Shay.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
From a pirate named Redbeard. Let's kick it off with this 1950D Jefferson nickel. Sean mentioned a challenge to find full steps nickels from the 50s. Luckily, I had just picked this one 2 days ago. Could it qualify as full steps? Top pop at 67 plus. You think mine is at least tied?
All right. It is one of the keys to the series. It's a 1950. It's a D.
Wow.
I will say that we do not have the full steps on it. In fact, I think even with NGC where they do the 5 full steps, I don't think it would definitely not do the 5 full steps.
No.
Yeah,
it's actually a relatively weak strike on both sides, don't you think?
Yeah, I should see a little bit more. And some of it may be the photos. I'm hoping it's the photos are a little bit on the blurry side. For us to talk anywhere north of MS 64, 65, we need to see some really nice luster on this coin. It looks like it's got some toning.
Yeah, there are certain 1950s nickels that are just absolutely tough to find, especially with full steps. But one date that comes to mind is 1955. Like a lot of them have some of the worst luster I've ever seen for a mid-state coin. Yeah. That will qualify as a coin that would just be a conditioned rarity up to a certain point, and then when you add in full steps, they're just not seen out there. Now, the 1950D is kind of an aberration because when it was released, people knew it was a low vintage nickel. A lot of them were hoarded in high mid-state grades. So, it's not like it's a coin that it would be much tougher to find one of these in a lot lower grades like VF and under than you would AU and up, because a lot of them were preserved in rolls, and people just knew that this was going to be a low vintage release at the time. And a lot of 1950Ds are generally well struck. Unfortunately, the full steps is you're probably 3 steps out from full steps on this one.
Yeah. I do know the 50D is, I don't want to say it's common, but it's not hard to find a full step coin in the 50D. It's not because the mint states were preserved; it's well preserved, and so many of them were kept. I think it has more to do with the simple fact that they were a little bit more on point with striking. I would be remiss if we didn't discuss just a little bit of what we're looking for on full steps. This is the 50D that we're looking at right here, and we can see the way I judge steps, and this is actually the way I was taught to grade steps, was to count the channels that you can see in between the steps. Like, for instance, making sure my arrows follow. You can see this one channel is complete. Nothing interrupts it. And we can see the one underneath it. And then, but after that, we don't really see a complete channel. And what we should see for full steps is 5 full channels, which would make 6 full steps. So I'm going to show you one that's got no steps at all. And this is a very late die state coin. This is actually, speaking of Shumar, this is his coin. I snapped his picture just to give him a little plug on here just for fun. This is actually a 54 S/D coin. And there's no steps on that one. This was a very weak strike, late die state coin here, but it is toned and it is, it's still, even with a weak strike, it is a beautiful coin. Step up to, here's a 5 full step coin. You can see the channels, 1, 2, 3, 4 complete channels there between the steps. But then we get to this is always your problem step right here, this very last one, and it's always underneath pillars 2 and pillars 3. Almost any time if there's a weakness in the strike, it's going to be underneath those 2 pillars, 2 and 3, usually 3 more than 2. Now here's one. Oh, that's a terrible picture. That's my fault. But this is one that shows full steps. It's nice and sharp. Nothing interrupting them. What you shouldn't see are heavy marks that reach the depth of the panel that interrupt the channel to bridge the step. It shouldn't reach to the depth of the channel. You can have a mark as long as it doesn't reach the depth of the channel. So that's how I do steps when I'm looking at a full step Jefferson nickel.
That's probably the best explanation I've heard in quite a while. And quite honestly, that's why they don't do full steps on Lincoln Memorial Cents with 18 channels that those things can have. So someone had actually asked me that. I'm like, well,
And I got to brag a little bit. I actually got the channel description. I actually got that from Bill Fivas himself. He's
okay, cool. Well, pretty credible source.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous. I mean, who can say they got Bill Fiva in their local coin club?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we haven't been able to meet. I've missed seeing all those guys. There's a lot of other guys in that club too that are top of their game. Good stuff in that club.
Hey, Jeff, real quick, because this question has come up, and I know the answer, but you say it so much more eloquently and complete than I do. Why don't they do grading companies? That is, why don't they do full steps designations on proof coins?
On proof, well, a proof just by definition that it should have always a full strike on those. And I know a lot of people get confused with those. A lot of people will put a proof coin up, on Facebook or whatever, and say, "Hey, I found a proof coin of a mid-60s coin." Or whatever, which is almost unheard of on a uncirculated or a mint state, a regular business strike coin in the 60s. They're very tough. But no, the extra pressure that they use on the proof coins and the quality of the strike is just it's expected. It's actually unusual to not have a full strike on a proof coin.
I thought it was only fitting for a nickel connoisseur to explain that to everyone.
That's like being a connoisseur of Kool-Aid.
It comes up at least once a week. And we see it quite a bit. There is a Facebook group, and I'm going to give them a little plug. Derek Hansen runs it. It's a Jefferson Nickels Club, or not club, but Facebook group. And it's just that. It is nothing but Jefferson nickels, and Paula, you'll never see Paula in there.
Is that a known fact?
She hates Jefferson nickels.
All right. Well, it wouldn't be a coin Q&A without an Adams Chambers coin. So eBay cherry pick. Hello, panel. Hope you're all having a good evening. I know my last Franklin threw everyone off, and I wanted to share a new find this weekend that shouldn't create such a stir. This is a nice 1953D MS65 full bell lines graded by NGC. This is also the FS401 Bugs Bunny variety. I paid $89 for it on eBay. Bravo, sir. This coin sells for $600 plus regularly for this particular variety. All right.
All right, Adam, I think it's time for you to start cherry picking another series.
Oh, he's going to get all of them.
We went down a big rabbit hole.
You did get all of them.
That last one. That's all that happened.
There it is.
There it is.
So this is clashed with the eagle feathers from the reverse. They all are, and oftentimes you can find his nose or his lips right there next to the eagle as well. Not always Bugs Bunny looking, but it's just, you know, you can see the clash between his nose and his lips. The 55, it looks more like fangs than Bugs Bunny, but that's what they called it.
And the full bell lines gives it that distinction. That's the tough part there.
Which I looked at this and wow. There's considerable weakness to the west of the bell line, to the crack.
They called that full bell lines?
I know. That's why I was kind of, and you got broken lines.
I think a lot of times they take the rarity of a full strike into consideration. Sometimes when they do it on nickels, on full steps.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean they grade a little bit on a curve?
Just a little bit of a curve, yeah.
I know the three. They have three different. Or the grading companies have different ways of determining too, right?
He sent the wrong photos.
Oh, is this not that? Did I mix them up?
He said he sent the wrong ones.
Well,
That would explain it.
Yeah, it doesn't say FBL on that one, does it?
I was ready to blame Shay.
It's all my fault. Maybe that was my fault, Adam. I don't know. All right, but I do, because I have a second set of pictures from him, but I don't have them downloaded. So let me grab those real quick. Maybe that's the problem. No, his other one was about something completely different. Okay. Which I didn't save an image for. Let me do that real quick.
Is it the same date, 53S?
No. Oh. No, this was a different matter altogether. It was about a new listing for James Wiles. So let me pop that up here real quick.
You see what Paula said?
What?
Did we have the same issue a few weeks ago?
We did. Probably with his coin too.
Adam, we confess, we are not intentionally hijacking your awesome cherry picks. We're just discombobulated sometimes.
I'd like to address a question California Greenhorn Fisherman has been asking. He's a metal detectorist, I guess, and he's wondering why a 1910S that he dug up is ringing up different than other 1910s or early wheats. And Paul is explaining to him that they're not pure copper. They are 95% copper, 5% tin and or zinc. it is an alloy coin, and as we know, there are improper alloy mixes. So you could have a coin that has a little bit more tin or zinc or both in than normal, which would explain why it would be ringing up differently. You know, we find woodies all the time. We find laminations all the time. They're all basically because of the same problem, and that's an improper alloy mix. But the amount of those different alloys could also fluctuate as well, depending on how well it mixes together. So that's all I can explain about it. But I saw you asking that question. I wanted to address that. Yep, Frank likes improper alloy mixes.
Oh yeah. Frank's sending me a couple of his improper alloy mixes. I can't wait to see those. Got them at his auction.
These wasabi peas are burning my nose.
It's funny, Jeff. I'm thinking that I'm not part of that 2-man computer expert group that you guys are forming there. I will confess, I'm not one of those guys.
Yeah, some of us somebody was giving us a hard time, and I had to confess 2 of us are computer guys.
Yeah.
By day, for me, it's not necessarily by what I really want to do during my day, which is to play with coins. I'll read that one. From Adam Chambers, new listing, James Wiles. Good evening, panel. Just thought I would share a very nice newly listed DDO for the 1954 D Lincoln cent. I sent this coin in with 4 others, and this was the only one to come back with an attribution letter. Dr. Wiles is tough. It goes to show that some attributors are a lot tougher on new varieties than others. He doesn't attribute some of the minor stuff. I knew that going in, but I gave it a shot anyways.
Good night, Jay. Have a good one, sir. Thank you for coming.
See you, Jay. Thank you, dude.
I hope Dr. Wiles is giving you a discount, bro.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, right there's a $50 bill.
Hey Jay, we're check back later. We have a coin coming up for you here, or your question, I think. All right. TML. Ugh.
Well, at least we got the 54D. It's not a complete,
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
You could see why he went ahead and took that one.
I can't believe that one escaped discovery for so long.
Mm-hmm.
In class 5. About 4 and 10. 2 different pivot points. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like to see the new discoveries. It gives me something to kind of look for.
Very cool. Way to go, Adam.
Congratulations.
All right, next one. Let's get this one up. Who wants to read that one?
I'll take this one from Contagious. We got 1973D, possible mid-state 70. I have a whole roll of 73D red Lincoln cents, uncirculated. My question is, how do I go about picking the correct one or ones to be graded, since the best grade is only a 67 plus, and it's the only one known? Plus, another quick question about the coin. Is the 73D known to have a DDOR variety? Actually, it doesn't say R, it just says O.
What we got on there? Is that a little bit of electrical tape? Oh, yeah. Sure is. And we got some green frog tape going on there. Well, I'm going to be the bearer of bad news here, but judging by the outside of that roll, I'd say it's going to be almost impossible to find an MS-70 inside that roll. But I've seen Chuck go through some rolls before, and I like his method. He built a little wooden slot or slat. I don't really know what to call it, but he empties the roll out onto that, and I think he can fit about 10 or 20 coins onto it at a time. And he's able to pick it up and move it around to get different lighting angles on the coins and give them good inspections. And he picks through them, and if he sees a nick or a ding, he pulls that one out. And he narrows it down to maybe the top 5 or 10 in the roll. And then he really starts doing the grading. And for a newbie, I would pull up like PCGS Photograde or something like that, and study what they tell you on that. They tell you what to look for, the high points on the coin, the wear areas, and see what you can find. But I'm telling you, chances of finding an MS-70 in that roll are probably slim to none.
Yeah, with that kind of bend that I can see in it, it looks more than likely the coin is probably shifted inside that roll, and that's going to lend itself to marks. The enders, I mean, the enders, you expect to see marks on those. You can't really judge the roll by the ender necessarily, but that condition of the actual roll where it looks like it's got a little bit of a bend to it, those coins have moved around inside that roll. But you know, it's the marks are only part of the grade. You might find some ones with banging luster on the inside. You might find very well struck ones on the inside. And then you pick the ones like that. If you have that, you pick the ones that have very few marks, and you start scrutinizing those. And if you're really having to struggle to find a mark on a coin, that might be a really good one. But I agree with Chris. It's the odds are probably going to be much smaller because of the condition.
Well, the fact that 67 plus red is the top grade in which only one example exists tells the whole story there. To get and obtain a 2.5 point grade bump to a perfect 70 in a 1970s roll, I'm not going to say it's damn near impossible, but you have to look at that period of time in which these coins were struck. A lot of them had carbon spots, a lot of them had weak strikes, which plays a huge role in the actual valuation of that grade through the graders. It's just finding one at a 67 plus is going to be the battle in itself. And like I tell everyone, because there's a lot of YouTubers out there that push and promote, find a 1970, mid-state 68, and it could be worth 10 grand. Well, there's only one in existence at that grade, and it's a true lottery shot. We're talking one in hundreds of thousands of coins that will probably grade out there. And generally, when you submit coins to graders, especially moderns, I even talked to Ian Russell, who owns and operates Great Collections, because they submit coins too for customers, but they pay upfront for it. They have to submit like 30, 40 coins, and that cost is passed down to the client. So can you imagine sending out 30, 40 1972D Lincoln sets at $25 a pop, or however much their discounted price is? I always tell people it's not for the faint of heart. So don't be misled by what others are saying about how you can find this coin. It takes a lot of hard work. You're going to end up spending more money than it's actually worth doing. It's just crazy. I tried doing it back in 2015. and I don't want to go back doing it. I'm going to go back to my classics, and that's where a lot of the stability is in coin collecting is with the older coins, the obsolete designs. So anyways, yeah, you can take my mug off the picture there.
Yeah. Do yourself a favor. Go out to YouTube and maybe do a search for PCGS submission disappointment or something like that. There's been some people that have done videos on like doing their first submissions where they submit like a whole box of them and they come back and they're just terrible, terrible results for them. And they'll tell, a lot of times they'll tell you how much they spent, on those. I know I was disappointed with some of my first submission. I very stupidly submitted some stuff that I shouldn't have.
Well, that's one way to learn, right?
Yeah.
The other way is to listen to all of us that have done it and don't do it.
Yeah, we're saving you guys money. My first ever bulk modern submission was $800, and I didn't even get close to getting that money back. But I wanted to try it. And I sat there. I went through probably, I don't know, it's got to be like 200 rolls of BU Lincolns from the 60s and 70s. And the one date that I was looking for was a 63D in the top grade. At the time was a 66 plus full red. Now there's a 67. The last couple examples of that coin that had come up to auction, one had sold in excess of $10,000. So, if it was that easy to find a coin like that, you would think everybody else would be doing it. It's just not the case. It's like buying lottery. You're really gambling with your money doing that. Right, Chris?
Hey, we got a couple more coins, but a little interlude here. I want to tell you guys that we had Empyrean Label make us this awesome logo, and then Ida Herring embroidered these on hats, and then she made these wonderful shirts. And I won't tell you how much effort I went through to try on the shirts and wash the shirts and dry the shirts multiple times to make sure they shrink. But a lot of effort went in to make sure we have some high quality stuff. And if you guys want one, the shirts are $20 and the hats are $18. And you can just send us an email to live or to the info@livecoinqa.com, and we can invoice you for them and send them out. So that just goes to support the channel and our web hosting and just the various expenses that we have for the show. And so we appreciate any support you guys want to give, and be glad to get these shirts and hats in your hands. So, all right, let me go to the next one.
Adam, yes, I'll put a playlist together of those reports.
Yeah, those market reports are awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
From Anonymous, or is this Anonymous? I don't know. 1971 LMC-S proof. With the 1971 Lincoln Memorial Cent proof DDO, there are 3 types in cherry pickers. How can you tell which one this is? Also, how do you remove a cracked open proof set and safely take out the coin? I can't tell you that because I've never done it. I'm afraid these pictures are just not going to show what we need to see.
Yeah, I agree. But it was an interesting question. So on the breaking the proof sets.
Yeah, give me a second. I think I have a 71 proof set. I could kind of imagine demonstrate how I do it. Give me a second. Right. I've gotten quite my fair share of them.
To answer the other question about how can you tell which doubled die it is? Well, here's the thing. even though there's only 3 cherry pickers varieties, there's probably quite a few others that aren't in the cherry picker's guide. And there are. So let's see how many are listed. I see 5, 6. 5 proofs. 5 proofs listed on doubledye.com and 1 proof reverse. So there's 6. And only 3 in cherry pickers. So just FYI.
Which is
You got it, Sean, baby?
All right, so I got 71 right here. A lot of them for the late 60s and into the 70s are in this hard acrylic holder, okay, and it's, of course, sealed around the edge. So there's a couple different ways you could go about doing this. If you had a cutoff wheel on a Dremel, you could Dremel right on the seam all the way around and just use a, because, you know, you do have this black insert that holds the coins. You can use a cutoff wheel and just cut right onto the seam all the way around, and then, you know, separate both sides of the lens, and then you can take the coin out. Now, keep in mind, obviously, you don't want to. You probably want to use like cotton gloves or something to pop the coins out of the black insert, because some of them are stuck in there pretty good. But if you don't have that cutoff wheel, what I also like to do is take some like tin snips and just cut off a corner. And once you have a corner cut off to where you could slip in a flat blade screwdriver, you could crack open the seam all the way around. And that's another way of doing it. But you want to make sure when you do this that you use some care. I've never personally scratched any coins, but, you know, if it's your first time doing it, you could always slip and scratch a coin. You don't want to do that. And also work on something like this where it's safe. Okay, have a towel out, you know, you're sitting there working on it, so that way the coin doesn't fall onto the floor or anything like that and cause damage. So I've probably cracked out about 500 of these over the course of 20 years. But that's how I do it. And I've been successful every single time. But yeah, believe it or not, the coins are wedged in that little insert pretty well on some of the coins especially. But anyways, I wanted to share that real quick. It's a dirty job.
That is awesome. All right. So our last email for the night. And I know we have more coming in, and we really appreciate it. But I know some of you we didn't get to answer your question that you sent to us, but we will reply to you. Most likely, I mean, we get a lot of damage. For every email you see, there's probably 10 that didn't make it. So we appreciate you guys sending it. So just look for email from us. And if you don't hear from us, it's most likely because we're going to put you on the next show. We try to respond and let you know that's going to happen, but we don't always get to. But anyway, so here's the last email. Let's do it.
Perry Moreno, you had sent some, I don't know when you sent your email, but if we got it late enough into the show, we'll either reach out or respond back to the email here in the next week or so before our next show, or we'll let you know that we'll put it on to the next show. So depending on what you have, if it's damaged, we'll tell you right away what you got.
All right.
And
from J. De La Rosa, 1982, weighs 2.6 grams, but it's smaller than this. Really, really nice 1972. Okay.
It's coming.
Yes, coins. Use eye protection when you're cracking out slabs because the little pieces chip off and they go all over the place.
Yeah, you got a fatty there with that 70, what was it, 71, 72? Yeah, that's a fatty.
What I think we got here is a Zinken 82 small date.
Yeah, 2.6 grams. That would be the copper plated zinc.
Which is, by the way, so if you did have a 3.1, that's the fabled 1982D small date copper.
It's fabled because my bank account says so. That's how expensive it is. Just the amount of money that a few of those examples have sold for just boggles my mind. The transitional planchet errors, crazy.
Yep.
That's normal. I just wanted to make sure, everybody saw that. 2.6. So one of the other things I wanted to mention was that this scale is to the tenths, and for coin roll hunting and other things, you really want to go to the hundredths of a gram. So try to get the one with 2 digits after the decimal spot. It's much better and more accurate, and that way you can actually weigh the coins correctly. So all right, so anybody have anything to add?
No.
Other than it was another fun night.
It was.
Woohoo!
Thank Frank and Paula, Empyrean helping in the chat.
Yep, Paula is like Vanna White spinning the letters in chat.
Oh yeah.
She's amazing.
Don't be giving her a big head.
Yay!
Thank you guys for everybody for helping out. Definitely. Yep. And don't forget about the t-shirts and hats. And thank you guys so much for being here with us. Hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Yep, absolutely. Keep them coming. Definitely check out the website too.
Oh yeah.
Bye, guys.
All right. See you guys later. Have a good week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.